So, good morning, everyone. How you guys doing? All right. It is Mo Group Sunday today, and this is my buddy Craig Garren, who first, just to start off, I want to say we're in an exact same stage of life right now. He and his wife Tina, me and my wife Shannon are empty nesters for the first time in the last couple of weeks. So we're just up here. Yeah, I was going to go with let's comfort each other, and he was like, blocked with a high five. Sorry, Brandon, your father hates you.
True story.
True story. So I'm going to spend just 5 to 7 minutes interviewing, I almost said Brandon now, Craig, about his involvement in Mo Group. So let me just begin by let you introduce yourself, tell us about your family, all that stuff.
My name's Craig Garren. My wife's name is Tina, and we have a son that's named Brandon that's first year down in college. I work in supply chain at a local medical supply company, and we've been coming to Momentum since pretty much we launched here in the Macedonia campus June 1st, 2014. We helped out transform the building before we launched here in Macedonia.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start off with just a couple fun things. What's a couple of fun memories you have from, being involved in a Mo Group over the years?
So when we ended up launching, we went to our first Mo Group, and at the time, Mike Love was leading a discussion. Mike is an elder here, and he helps out in Mo Kids. Well, we were new at the time, so he was wanting to get a fun event together, and he came up with the idea of putting up Christmas lights. So this was in December, obviously, and we ended up, a lot of people's schedules were different, so I ended up being the only one that volunteered for it.
Now, I'm reading between the lines here, but I think Mike was tricking him into helping Mike put up his own Christmas lights. Am I right?
True story.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So we ended up, he gave me his address, so I went down to his house. And he's like, hey, we've got to run to Lowe's. Can you come with me? And I'm like, sure, I'm always up for a road trip. So we ended up getting in the car. He started up. We started backing up. He's like, oh, my gosh, I forgot something. So he threw it in park, ended up going back to his house. And remember, this is December, so driveways are icy. And if you know the Love household, it's fairly hilly, so when he hit the door, the car started sliding back. And remember, I'm in the passenger seat by myself. So with sheer panic, I ended up pulling the emergency brake, and I don't know if I leaned over with a hand, a foot, or whatever, hit the regular brake, and ended up stopping the car before it slid into the road. So if you hear the story of Mike trying to kill Craig, that's the true story.
And he's like, quit crying about it and help me with these Christmas lights. So how have Mo Groups impacted you relationally?
So relationship-wise, coming on Sunday morning is great. You get to hear the worship songs and everything, but to come in on a Mo Group in a more intimate setting, you get to get closer with the people in your group. You share the highs, you share the lows. You have laughs, lots of tears. When you see that person like in public, a Target or whatever, you're like, oh my gosh, you just get that sense of calm, like, I've got their back and they've got mine. So, it makes everything worth it.
Yeah. How have they impacted you, Mo Groups? How have they impacted you spiritually?
Spiritual-wise, I've been, I've had the church background my whole life, off and on, whether we've moved out of state or not. So I guess before I would come in, listen to the sermons, and go home and think I would put them into practical use, but now...
I hope so.
Yeah. Depends on who the preacher is. So, I would try and think of it, in a different way. Like I would pick stuff out of the sermon that I didn't know, that I didn't understand, fully knowing that I would come in on like Monday morning and we would have that group discussion of whether, every week's different, whether you talk some, you don't talk some, you listen, but like if you write certain things of the sermon down that you just don't understand, you get in that Mo group and hear like another person's opinion, or like the Mo group leader explain something, you have that like light bulb moment, like, I didn't get it, but now I did get it. So, and also, I guess I was, working at another point. I was working third shift, kind of fell back out of Mo groups, and you really noticed a difference when you didn't go. Like, you would come in on Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings were great and all. People would say, hey, how's it going? And you could just say, hey, everything's fine, but they didn't know if things were fine or not. You just kind of floated in or out. You didn't have, people there to hold you accountable or you to hold them accountable. But it's kind of nice that my schedule's changed, so I'm able to get back in a Mo group with the group that I'm in.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So who's one person that you have seen in Mo group that just inspires you, the way they live out their faith, challenges you, somehow kind of spurs you forward spiritually?
So I'm going to fall back on Mike Love again.
Fall back. I like that.
The ever-present elder and, leader of Mo Kids. So when we first started coming, he threw out a challenge, a pretty basic challenge of, hey, you need to memorize a memory verse or a scripture verse. And I'm like, hey, that sounds pretty cool. So he gave us a scripture verse for that week, and ended up like 3 to 4 days later at the end of the week, he texted me. He's like, hey, Craig, how's that memorization going? And I'm like, hey, Mike, I haven't even looked at it. Things have been busy, and I just haven't gotten to it. And then, he responded, hey, we're doing this for a reason. And there's your accountability of checking up on the people in our Mo group.
Sorry, I've been going to therapy over the whole car situation where you almost killed me in your driveway.
So I ended up taking it a little more seriously, and we did it like the next 3 weeks, and I was able to memorize whatever he put out there for us. And you never know when, stuff like that would help you out later in life. And probably like 10 years later, it was actually last summer, I found out that the company that I was working for announced that they were shutting down. So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Going into Brandon's senior year, this is not the way it's supposed to play out. So what are we going to do? There was anger, there was fear, there was resentment. Are we going to have to move? You just don't know. But ended up, thinking back on it, we ended up remembering one of Mike's verses that he gave us, and it ended up, calming those fears and made me realize, hey, it's just a job. Yeah. So, but
that's great. That's great. That's awesome, man. So, so it's Mo Group Sunday, and Mo Groups start up a week from tomorrow. Those are on Monday, but basically a week from now. If they meet on a Monday or Wednesday, they kick in NFL Week 1, but this is bigger. This is even more exciting. So that's what's happening soon. And one of the ways that we wanted to help get Mo Groups on your radar for you to start thinking about what Mo Group you're going to go to is after each, I'm doing 2 interviews, counting this one. We'll have half of our Mo Groups come up in 2 different chunks, half of our Mo Group leaders come up, or somebody representing that Mo Group just to tell you about that group, so that you might be on the website and be like, ooh, this is the one closest to me, or a demographic, all ladies, whatever. And you want to go to that one, well, you'll see and recognize a face maybe from that Mo Group, which will make it a little less scary to go to. So thank you, Craig Garren. Give it up for Craig Garren. And I'm going to have some Mo Group leaders come up, and you can check out this video shortly.